So excited when she is going to share something with us. It's an honor and a privilege to welcome Jaime up here to share on her speech that we don't know the title of.
We'll find out.
How do you cook? Oh, he's not here himself, but I came in super late.
Super late.
Super duper.
All right.
How many of you have gone to the grocery store and bought a whole ton of food, gotten home, you're laughing already, gotten it into the fridge and gone, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to cook for the entire week. I'm so excited. I don't know what to cook tomorrow for dinner. Yeah? Okay. How many of you are thinking, okay, I've got this in the morning? How many of you get up and put a whole bunch of stuff in the crock pot, make a nice, long, slow-cooked meal for dinner? You eat it and it's amazing. How many of those are you? How many of you wait until the end of the day, you get home and you put a meal together, put it in the microwave? It's amazing too. It takes a couple minutes, awesome meal at the end of the day. Okay. Not bad. Okay, about 50-50 there, right? Crock pot meals, microwave meals. I want you to think about that for a moment. We're going to transition away from cooking. I'm sorry, there's some food over here. So we're going to move toward our brain. And I want you to think a bit about those crock pot meals and those microwave meals. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Last year, I went to a conference, and the icebreaker, you know, when you get at those little small tables and you meet with 4 or 5 people, and you talk about something to get to know each other. The icebreaker that was shared that we got to talk about was, are you a microwave or are you a crock pot? And I was like, this is the best thing ever. I could go on and on. I could make this a speech. As I was thinking through this, I'm like, am I a microwave? One of those meals that I can put together really quickly and ding, it's ready. Or am I a crock pot? Do I take a long time to kind of cook, marinate, get all those flavors all put together and have a nice meal after a while? So kind of going back to that analogy, how many of you feel you're a crock pot? Takes you a little while to kind of think through and process things. How many of you feel you're a microwave? You're like on it, I've got it, quick, and I'm ready and done. Again, about 50-50. Okay, this is me. I just have to personally know how many of your brain crock pots and microwave match up with your cooking style. I'm just curious. Totally unrelated. I just had to know that. Now, as I was thinking through this, you know how I said, oh, I can make this into a speech. I could probably make this into a novel. I was thinking about sitting in a room and watching people interact and what this interaction looks like. When you're in a room, just seeing the wallflowers, standing back and seeing other people interact. And who's a microwave and who's a crock pot. And you've heard those expressions about people who are extroverts and people who are introverts and what that looks like at a party. And those introverts are never going to be the ones telling jokes or getting your looks. They're going to be sitting back and processing. So I was thinking those introverts are more crock potty. Or extroverts are more microwavy. Quick to jump and really quick to just move through things. And what does that look like for this whole process in how we respond to people, how we follow through with work-related items? How do we follow through with friendship? How do we follow through with cooking? wrapped up pretty well, right? How do we follow through with life? How do we do this as a process? How do we microwave? How do we crock pot? How do we navigate that with each other? What does that look like? As you're thinking through, are you a crock pot? Are you a microwave? Well, shoot, are you an Instapot? Do you kind of cook really fast and then explode at the end and just have got to share things and right then and there? You know, what does that look like for you? How do you process that? How do you work with other individuals? How do you bring that into your team? How do you bring those into your groups and kind of think through those ideas of being a crock pot, of being a microwave or an Instapot? How do you grow? How do you work with your team? So one final thought, I will leave this with you. As you enlighten yourself, move through this path, how do you cook?